Hey guys, on the previous video we took a look at Temple of Doom, and now it's time to look at the next Indiana Jones game on the AMSTRAD CPC. Yep, it's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the action game, and this is a long playing review of course. And yes, I'm going to be trying to take a look at all the Indiana Jones games. Well, there's only 3 of them. We looked at one already, Temple of Doom. We're now on to the Last Crusade, and we've also got the Fate of Atlantis to look at, which I'll come on to in a second. Anyway, nice little Lucasfilm Games flashing logo there, nice little touch. Some very nice loading screens, intermission screens as well. That's quite nicely done, that. And here we are on the title screen, and some very nice music by Mark Tate there. A really good rendition of the classic Indiana Jones theme. But enjoy it while it lasts, guys, because there's no music in game whatsoever. Now, whether you saw there, the game's been programmed by Mark Haigh-Hutchinson, who very sadly passed away, I think, a couple of years ago. But he did some really great games for the Amstrad. He did the excellent Paperboy conversion, and also converted Highway Encounter, the Costa Panay game, from many years ago, 1985, which got one of the highest marks ever in Amstrad Action magazine, something like 94% or something. But he also did Italy 1990, a great soccer game, and a few other bits and bobs. But let's start this up. It's basically roughly 3 levels in the game. Level 1, the Cross of Coronado, whatever. This level is actually split into 2 sections, in the cave here, and then we're on the top of the circus train. And this roughly follows the plot of the movie, except though I'm sure all of you have seen the film itself. But in this level here, obviously in the film, it's young Indiana Jones, aged like 15 or 16 or something. But we're playing as the full-size adult Indiana Jones here. But oh well. And yeah, okay, well, first of all, guys, no music, sparse sound effects, and the graphics have definitely got a case of the speckyitis. Basically monochrome, apart from a very nice status bar at the bottom there. I've still done a better job of getting Indy's picture there compared to the Temple of Doom one. There you go, picture's picked up a whip there, which is really annoying to use because it takes ages for you to actually do the whip move. By that point you could have been shot and or hit with a flying bottle or something from one of the enemies. So the whip's really annoying, but it's got a slightly longer range than your fists, which you start out with. I also picked up a flaming torch there. The only good thing about these graphics is that as sort of a time limit, your torch begins to run out and the screen starts changing colours and gets dimmer and darker. Quite a nice effect actually. There's some nice animation there, nice animation on Indy walking and he's cracking his whip. But jumping is really crap, because he just like basically floats in the air like there's no gravity. That's really put me off things here. Oh, there you go. Screen's got a little bit darker there. Certainly adds a bit of atmosphere to the game actually. This is perhaps one of the only few times I actually sort of, I'm okay with the monochrome graphics. Because it's used to good effect in these levels, but there's kind of no excuse in the later levels where you know, you're climbing a castle or you're in the airship ship. You'll see later on where full colour could have been used, but in mode 1 I suppose it does give it more detailed sprites and graphics, higher resolution. Ooh, only just avoided that guy there. It's a bit odd there, those guys just basically perpetually just climbing up and down ropes. Don't see the point of that. It's also really slow. Which doesn't make things particularly exciting. And these guys chucking bottles are really annoying because they can throw them at random times. There's no way of judging it really. Just after they've thrown the first item, move straight after, and hopefully, oh, only just avoided it there. And you lose energy from dropping down too far. And obviously watch out for things falling from above your head. God, that's like the slowest jump ever. Weirdly though, in the final level you will see him jump really quickly. But we'll come on to that later. Right, just above my head there is the Cross of Coronado, which we need to collect. We can't get it from below there. We need to go a different route. And oops, I forgot about that falling thing. And yeah, the screen's got darker. It's gone a really grisly shade of dark green. Bad guys are stupid. He saw me right in front of him, then turned around and started shooting in the opposite direction. Ah well. That is artificial intelligence circa 1989 8-bit computing for you there. Ooh, I've got a very dark blue now as well. Yeah, picked up a torch. Now the exit to this level is pretty much just above this rope, but we need to get that cross first before we escape. We jump right here. Yeah, and the punch is really good. You're probably better off with your punch actually in these levels rather than your whip, if it could have been avoided. You still got quite a long range on your punch, and it's just literally straight up and punching, which means you're probably not going to get shot trying to use your whip, which takes about a second or two and a few frames of animation. Scrolling's okay, but it's not a particularly good frame rate. You can see it's sort of refreshing itself and sort of catching up with itself, if you know what I mean. Whether that comes out in the video or not, I don't know. But Indy there, he's a decent sprite. It feels like Indiana Jones, certainly more so than the Temple of Doom sprite. And the bit of splash of colour on the bottom status bar is welcome. Don't bother jumping left to get that torch, because there's a guy chucking bottles that will basically just kill you. You'll never get off it. Here's the exit. And then we'll be on to part 2 of level 1, which is on the top of the train, which is a really frustrating level. This level isn't too hard once you've played it a few times and know where you're going and where to expect bad guys and ropes and where to jump. So we're now on the back of this circus train, and you've got to basically do pixel perfect jumping and move quite quickly as well, because you'll find occasionally be a bad guy waiting at the other end of a carriage. And if you wait around too long, he'll start shooting and throwing bottles or whatever it is at you. So you have to be really quick like there. And by that point, if he starts throwing stuff at you and you've got to jump over like that rhinoceros horn jump coming at the top there, or this giraffe, you permanently get stuck with your timing. You'll never be able to jump over the item in time. Oy. Oops. This is the only level where really the whip comes in useful against the bad guys, because of its length. Okay, just shuffling along there, trying to work out where I need to do these pixel perfect jumps. It's very close there. It's a little bit unforgiving on the collision detection occasionally. One of the annoying things is, say I was stood right in front of that giraffe there with my back to him like I was a second ago, and I use my whip, because your left arm goes back when you use the whip, it counts as a collision against the giraffe and you die. That's why I just moved forward there just like a couple of paces before using the whip against the bad guy there. So a couple of little frustrating annoyances, but that's the end of level 1. And a nice little jingle there as well. And we get bonus points for how much energy's left. Okay, this little bit here is kind of a bit of a copy protection system on the go here. Basically you get a date at the top there and you have to cross-reference it with something in the manual that matches the symbols above the doorway. So if you want to play this game, you'll need the manual to get beyond level 1, parts 1 and 2. So, okay, so we move on to level 2. In the crypts and the ascent of Castle BRUNWALD. Now again, I've taken a little bit of liberty here, because this first section is we're recovering the GRAIL stone from the tomb of the GRAIL Knight, which of course Indiana Jones finds in Venice, Italy, not below the Castle BRUNWALD in is it Germany or Austria. So the two locations have kind of been mashed together here. So once we get the GRAIL tablet, we basically start moving up and we reach the castle. So not entirely accurate, but you know, I guess for the sake of gameplay and more tape loading or something like that, it's probably better to do it like that. Again, like the first level, there's pretty much only one route through this level. Now you think the quickest route would be able to jump on that rope to the left there, and I was thinking about it, then I realised you can't jump far enough and you'll just fall down to your death. So you do have to go this way. Which is probably the trickiest part of this level, because of these falling things above your head. And you just hope they're going to time it just right so they fall in sequence, so you can get through. And that's annoying, I don't think that was anywhere near me, that one. You're going to need a little bit of energy left, because there's going to be a few places where you're going to have to drop down regardless, and you'll lose a bit of energy and stamina for that. So you do need to get through this level, this section we just got through with certainly about half your energy left. And the rest of this level, oh okay, we've got a few more things falling on our heads here, so just be careful here. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, collision detection isn't brilliant, I have to say. Now first of all, I was talking about Indiana Jones games. I'm going to go and look at all 3 Indiana Jones games on the AMSTRAD. Obviously we looked at Temple of Doom last, we're now on the last Crusade, and firstly I just want to say sorry to Cholo, YouTube user, who's already done a long play of this on the AMSTRAD. Sorry mate, but I thought, well, you could do a review as well at some point. I wanted to look at the other 2 Indiana Jones games that wasn't any videos existing for on YouTube for the AMSTRAD, being Temple of Doom and the Fate of Atlantis. Now the Fate of Atlantis, I'm going to give it a go, but basically it's quite a confusing game to work out. It's not really an arcade action game like this. There's a lot of puzzle solving and clue finding and stuff, and unfortunately I can't find the instruction manual for it in English anywhere, so I'll either got to spend a lot of time translating the French manual which I've found, or just trying to guess what's going on. I have tried a few times actually, I just couldn't work it out. But I think I've got a method, I think I've got a way of working it out now. I think there's a Spectrum long play that's not on YouTube yet, but you can view it via an emulator. So I'm going to watch that and try and replicate what's been done on that Longplay on the Spectrum version, and hopefully it'll be identical to the AMSTRAD. And finally at last we'll get to see the full Fate of Atlantis game. Well, that's my plan anyway. I'll give it a go, and apologies if I can't work it out. I'm not going to spend weeks and months trying to do it. But there you go. And that normally, that plank there should have slowly disintegrated for some reason. Didn't. Bit of a bug. Okay, so we're not too far from the end of this sort of cavey section. Well, in the crypts and the tombs. The tablet we need, the GRAIL tablet, is just to the right here. Ooh! See that, guys? We've got some lightning effects on the go there. And that's actually quite nicely done. Because we're about to reach the castle here. And this final rope. Hey, nice. So okay, we're now ascending the castle, and this is probably my favourite part of the game. It's really easy to do, but there's a couple of little cool things here which I'll probably show you shortly. I think it's coming up. Yep, okay. Alright guys, you ready for the best moment in the game? Prepare yourself for some lightning, and then check this out. Whee! Yes, Indy can use his whip to swing between posts. Nice. That really was probably the highlight of the game for me. It's nicely done, that actually. Just the only little bit of excitement. I like a bit of thunder and lightning, and then like the using your whip to swing around posts and stuff. Very cool. But that's about it really. You only get to use it a couple of times though in this level, which is a bit of a shame. There we go again. Whee! And that's it. And that's the end of level 2. And we've only got 2 more levels to go. So quite a short game to complete actually. Obviously we've done it in probably 20 minutes worth of gameplay. Now, okay, this level on board the Zeppelin. We need to find your father's, Henry Jones's, GRAIL diary, and then escape at the other end of the Zeppelin on the biplane that's attached to the Zeppelin. But what we need to do though is collect like these pass papers. Is that the right word? There's little these little books with I don't know, security passes or whatever in that allow us to move around the Zeppelin without too much hassle and the alarms going off. There's one down here to the bottom left. You can hardly see it. You just see about it. It's just about to see it flashing there. Just picked it up. It's very hard to see against these monochrome graphics. But just above maybe you see that whip symbol in the middle of the status panel, which has the whip icon and the number 2. Just above that is the paper symbol, and that slowly decreases as kind of like a time limit, I suppose. And when that runs down completely, the alarms go off in the Zeppelin, and the Nazi soldiers, they start going ballistic, moving really, really quickly, and almost makes this virtually impossible to complete. And you know what, the whip here is a real hindrance if the soldiers are moving really quickly. So you'll only have a second to notice them and use the whip. So thankfully we're back to using our fists now. The one thing that is cool about this level though is, as you notice, the screen sort of floats up and down in time with the Zeppelin's movement. That's actually quite a cool effect. It does make the screen a little bit jittery though. You can tell it's kind of always constantly trying to keep up with the refresh rate. Now I've used again the quickest route possible through here. There generally is only one route really, I think. This is a route I use and where all the papers are, bar the last one. I'll come on to that in a second. There's some papers to collect all the way down here though, we need to be going right. There it is. Now even with the papers, the Nazi soldiers will kill you if they touch you. So don't let them get close to you just because you've got enough papers there. Still, it doesn't mean you won't get killed. But comparing to the other versions I've seen, this version is identical to the Spectrum version in looks, gameplay, everything. I think it moves about the same rate as well as each other. The Commodore 64 version's the better version. At least it's not in monochrome graphics, and things just move a lot faster and smoother generally. Though I will say the sprites look and backgrounds look a lot better. There's much more detail in them on the Spectrum and AMSTRAD versions. Now here's a bit annoying. This soldier basically slows us right down here because I've got to wait for him to move to the right here before we move down the ladder, which doesn't leave us enough time to get to the section where the next and final sort of papers are. We'll far run out of time before we manage to get there, which means that there's a ladder to jump down to get those papers where there's a Nazi soldier in a small confined space moving back and forth, and if the alarm's raised he moves far too quick for you to descend the ladder in time to collect the papers. So for this last section of the game, which not too far from the end, the alarms will be going off shortly and the Nazi soldiers will be alerted. If you look at the paper symbol there, there's very, very little left of it. Now the next papers would have been down that ladder there to the right. And here, floating there, that's the GRAIL diary we needed to collect. So that's the item we needed this level. But yeah, there's that Nazi soldier to the right there who moves far too quickly for you to climb down the ladder. But yeah, basically guys, the alarms are on and the Nazi soldiers are alerted, so they're moving really, really quick now. You can see a little flashing thing to the far right of the screen there. That's the alarm symbol. That's the alarms going off. But there's no, sadly, no sound effects to. Oh, there's two of them there at the top of the ceiling. There's no siren sound effect, which would have been nice. Wouldn't be hard to do. So there's a whole big chunk above my head there where the last papers are, but we can still complete it now without them. Because we're right near the end. There's only one really tricky soldier to get by here, and then we've completed this level. You've got to time a jump down there to basically punch him, get rid of him very, very carefully. He's just the right there below the next section, and then there's the exit. But yeah, review guys, I mean, I've kind of described most things in detail I suppose. I hate seeing sort of specky monochrome graphics on the AMSTRAD, but I think they actually work okay here. There's a lot more detail to the sprites and stuff. And I like how it changes colour as the torch burns down on the first level and gets moodier and darker. But still, the AMSTRAD can do a lot better graphics wise. It's too slow, his jumping is really stupid how he floats in the air. And it's 4 levels, there's not much to the game, and it's all over rather too quickly, punctuated by really frustratingly stupid deaths. So guys, I think this deserves a 7.5 out of 10. Now the final level. We need to reach the end and pick up the Holy Grail, and we need to move as quickly as possible here, because your father's been shot and he's slowly dying, which is signified by the heart symbol. Now guys, when you complete this, you don't seem to get a congratulations message, you just get a game over message. So I thought, I must have been doing this wrong or ran out of time. So I'm moving at an absolute light speed here to try and get to the end before that heart symbol completely runs out. So this is absolutely the quickest route possible, because I've tried it hundreds of times to get there as quickly as possible, and I can't do it any quicker. And I get there, I think I pick up the Holy Grail just before the heart disappears completely, thinking I might see a proper ending. There's the end. I got the Holy Grail. If you notice, I picked it up just before the heart disappeared. And so guys, what are we greeted with? An end of level message. Okay, that's the end of the level, but do we get an ending or completion screen? Oh, get the bonuses first. Wait for it, wait for it. What do we get? Game over. A game over message. Fuck right off. After all that, you couldn't even put a text saying congratulations. Well, yeah, okay, we get one here telling us we've got a high score, but how about, well done, you completed the game, you've saved your father, you got the Holy Grail, yay? No. Oh well. But yeah, not bad for a movie license. 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching guys, and hopefully see you next time on Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Like I said, I'm going to give it a go, no promises, but I really want to see what that game looks like to completion. It might take me quite a bit of time to do, so bear with me. But I hope you enjoyed this, and see you on the next video, whatever it is. Cheers, bye.